Storytime!
Today's story is My Name is Bob. My name is Bob, and I'm a street cat. Shall I tell you my story? Then come with me. I wasn't always a street cat. I grew up in a quiet house with a kind old lady. She looked after me, she loved me, and I loved her. I would curl up in her cosiest chair and listen to the beautiful music she played. I thought I was the luckiest little cat in the world. Then one day the old lady wasn't well. I wanted to make her better, so I sat on her lap, watching over her from morning till night. But there was nothing I could do to help her. One day some men in an ambulance came. I hoped they could make her better, so I chased down the road after them. I ran and tried to keep up. I jumped to a bus, thinking it would follow her, but instead it took me on a long journey into the big city. After a time, the driver made me jump off the bus. The streets were busy and noisy. Everybody was rushing around so fast. I wish I could go back home, I said to myself, but I didn't have a home anymore. I tried to get some food from a dustbin, but some street cats snarled at me. "Get lost!" one of them spat. I felt frightened and ran away. I ran through the crowded streets, not knowing where I was. That night I slid inside a cardboard box in the doorway of a shop. It was warm and cosy and it made me think of home. I missed curling up in my chair. How I miss my home, I thought. The next morning a big man woke me up. "Scram!" he shouted, shaking me out of my box. I ran away. Days passed. Everywhere I went, people chased me off. Weeks passed. I crept away and hid. And then one morning I heard a friendly voice. "Hello, pussycat. Do you want to come home with me?" "Yes, please," I purred. I was so happy that someone wanted me. But his mother wouldn't let me in. "I'm not having that smelly cat in my house," she said, and she slammed the door closed. I stared at my reflection in a puddle. The face in the water didn't look like me. I was so scruffy and dirty, as though I hadn't washed for a year. I was cold and hungry and too tired even to lick myself clean. Will I ever find a home again? I thought. Day after day I walked and walked. Nobody wanted to feed me. Nobody wanted to take me in. Nobody wanted to be my friend. Winter came, but my life hadn't changed. I was alone, hungry and cold on the streets. But then, when spring came, my luck changed. I heard music, beautiful music. I followed the sound and saw a man playing his guitar. I could tell he was sad and lonely like me. He looked like he needed a friend, so I followed him home and waited outside for him. That night, I saw a pair of eyes glowing in the dark. I was cornered. The creature bit me as I tried to escape. The next morning, my leg hurt so much that I hobbled inside the building and sat by the stairs. Perhaps the man will see me here, I thought. Perhaps he will help me. Then I heard, "Hello, little fella. You look hungry," the man said. "Do you want to come for some milk and tuna?" The man was kind. He stroked me gently and put medicine on my leg. "Don't worry, you're safe with me," he said. I felt I could trust him. He seemed like a friend. He told me his name was James. "And I'm going to call you Bob," he said. When my leg was better, James and I went out to play music. On the streets, people smiled and gathered to watch us. James and his street cat named Bob. I sat at his feet while he strummed his guitar. I thought I was the luckiest little cat in the world, just like before. From that day on, we've been together, and we always will be. Now this story is based on a real story, a true story. And if we look at the back of the book, we can see all of the pictures of Bob and James.